Welcome to Full On Recruiter. We bring to you some of the celebrated veterans and experts. We aim to be your perfect on-the-go dose of recruitment. In today's episode, we're going to hear from our expert Megan Zolneirowicz, who has a positive and constructive view of how recruiters should approach the unprecedented change in pretty much everything the near future is going to bring. Megan is an experienced professional whose career path across different industries have given her a broader understanding and deep knowledge about recruitment and marketing.
My name is Megan Zolneirowicz. I'm the Director of Marketing at SparkHire. I graduated with a degree in advertising journalism, took a role in recruiting right out of college, and made my way through the different aspects of digital marketing before landing as the Director of Marketing here at SparkHire in December of this year.
Being an aficionado of advertising and marketing, she picked up digital marketing skills and social media marketing skills that facilitated her switch to marketing position at a hospitality company.
So when I moved to Chicago, I was continuing to work, in this on the side and freelances. Social media consultants, and actually was doing that at Four Corners Tavern Group as I was recruiting, because I just felt like one job was never enough. And so when the company I was working for moved, I went on full time in social media at Four Corners, and then had this awesome boss that just kept giving me like, oh, you want to do more stuff? Okay. So it was social media, and then it was email, and then it was, the website. And it was just really I loved being able to find our audience and engage with them where they are, rather than just putting messages out to anybody that would pick them up.
Megan's start as a recruiter helped her understand the pain points of other recruiters and connect with them better from her own experience. Her experience with advertising helped her learn how to present a solution in a way that you are heard, and her experience with marketing gave her the knowledge of how to build an audience with content strategies and convert visitors into users. Now here's SparkHire, a company with a brilliant product for recruiters looking for someone to spearhead marketing. Talk about a perfect fit. While some companies are struggling to adapt to change, some companies are setting examples on how to do it and are even offering solutions to these problems. SparkHire is definitely setting the pace on how to adapt to remote hiring. Back in 2012, a product that helps you conduct video interviews would have been considered a luxury and maybe even futuristic. Well, the future is here now, and you need top-of-the-class tools to keep going forward. Over the 8 years of SparkHire, they have helped 5,000 companies hire better with their video interview platform, including organizations like IKEA, Volkswagen, and United States Postal Service. Boy, did they make the right choice in switching to virtual hiring, because no matter what capacity they had used SparkHire before, now it can scale up to meet the demands and changes. So what is it about SparkHire that made them successful?
I think that the big thing we focus on is the difference between, live interviews and one-way interviews. Whenever somebody says a virtual or video interview, usually your mind goes straight to a live interview, which is in real time, and it's, it's the closest match to like a Zoom or a Skype. But the one-way interview, where you're able to, you can give a personalized intro where you're asking the actual questions, and you can capture on video these one-way responses from your candidates. This is the piece that really helps move the process along and focus on, for example, I'm in the process right now of hiring a marketing team member. And because of the climate right now, there's just a lot of quality talent out there looking for, it's a copywriting position. So it could be remote 100%. And so there's just a lot of talent out there looking for a similar spot. And so I wouldn't have time to, as the director of marketing with other responsibilities, I wouldn't be able to, hop on 115, intro calls. But because we use one-way video interviews before the intro phone call to figure out who we need to have, this first phone call with, I was able to review resumes, send one-way video requests to the people that seemed like appropriate, matches, and then review the one-way video interviews, which takes, 5 or 7 minutes before having a 30-minute long phone call talking about the role and moving on to the live interview portion.
An elegant solution to every recruiter's pet peeve, wasting time on the wrong candidate. So how did they come up with the idea back in 2011?
So we actually started in 2011 when our CEO Josh Tolan, he was studying economics at University of California, San Diego, and he was working for a lead gen company in marketing, and it grew from like a handful of employees to like 100 plus in less than a year. So he was starting to see the challenges in the hiring process firsthand and the amount of like time and effort that was being wasted on the wrong candidates. So he had this idea, like when he was like literally driving like back to school, that his company wouldn't be the only one, struggling with the hiring process. And so he was like, how can I make a tool that will help people save time and make sure they're only really interviewing people who are going to be like in person, who are going to be good, either culture fits or qualification fits, or, just the best candidates.
SparkHire is helping companies in a big way after the COVID-19 outbreak with their software, but how did they handle the outbreak? Well, when a company is focused on making traditional processes work remotely, it is no surprise that they transitioned smoothly into remote work. But what is surprising is how they keep their spirits up as a company during this fairly lonely setup.
I keep feeling very, very fortunate to be a part of a team that had all of the tools that we already needed to say, via one Slack message and a couple of email communications, okay, guys, overnight, this, 95% in-person office is 100% remote, without really any work struggling or people feeling the need to, lay anybody off, has been just a huge relief. It's been interesting as a company. We've had the tools to do a lot of things that I think some other companies have not been able to do. Like our CEO, Josh, he sends out a weekly update company-wide. It's like a video on Sunday nights of this is what happened, last week at SparkHire, and they give customer success updates and marketing updates and sales updates. And he does like some sort of like funny, like he's done like he does really engaging, fun things that make everybody feel like we still are part of each other's work days. Like we do selfie contests where you have to take pictures and upload them of you and your favorite thing in your house by 4 p.m. on Friday. We do, we had like a happy hour where one of our customer success team members taught everybody how to paint something. Like we do a lot of things to stay top of mind.
Working remotely has broken stereotypes that you need to be in your office, at your desk, working away to be productive and to move the needle on progress. In fact, it has made many more productive and creative in the way they spend their time. We asked Megan how her workday has become better, and this is what she had to say.
I would say that personally, meetings have changed a lot for me. I think that I sat in a lot of meetings before that were not necessarily as important as they needed to be. And so I would, see a lot of time that was spent doing things that didn't move the needle. And I'm a working mom, and my husband is also still working, and we have a 2.5-year-old who's just kind of running wild right now. And so the ability to say, okay, I have this amount of hours every day that I can actually focus on doing things that are going to move the needle, and what are those things going to be, and prioritizing in terms of what's going to be best for our business and what's going to be best for the marketing department to move forward and actually produce the content that we need to better engage with our audience has been really beneficial. And I don't think it will change. Like, I'm not going to take an hour out of your day when you could be spending it doing something, and we could just talk after you finish that
However, not everyone is thrilled with this sudden shift. The uneasiness people feel towards working remotely is also present when it comes to hiring remotely, but it actually removes numerous roadblocks you would face traditionally. Sometimes, even the candidates worry that remote recruitment means that the company is not willing to spend time on them, but in reality, it is beneficial to the candidate all the way.
I think that candidates can sometimes be wary. I think, especially with the one-way video interview, it feels like they think that companies are spending less time on them, or they don't want to get to know them as well. One way I really believe recruiters can get over this roadblock is by making sure that they are, like, we call it coaching up their candidates, but make sure your candidate understands that, like, this is better for them. This gives them an opportunity to, really put their best foot forward and communicate in their own words why they're a good fit for the company they're interviewing with. And it also allows them to see a little bit more about the company they'd be joining and learn if that's a good fit on their end too. So I just like to make sure that you're taking every opportunity as a recruiter to add, personalization and reassurance into the process. And then that will usually, it helps the candidate feel a lot more comfortable answering questions on video.
Bad news keep piling on for several industries, and recruitment has taken a couple of punches as well. But it has also presented recruiters and corporate HRs an opportunity for growth that will carry on well beyond COVID-19 times. Companies that are on a hiring freeze can focus on building a virtual recruitment system and build processes that fit their need so that they can be ready when economies start reopening and they have to start hiring again. Companies that had taken time to experiment with remote hiring tools before have had it comparatively easy now, and their opportunity for growth is scaling it up and perfecting it with the right tools.
So the companies that have unfortunately had to implement a hiring freeze, I think they can really use this time to take a closer look at their hiring practices and prepare for their post-COVID-19 workforce. But for those that are witnessing a surge in demand, some of the tools that I think were considered kind of a nice to have before, like virtual interview tools, and they were often used and budgeted for accordingly, they're now proving very useful for the immediate pivot to remote work.
The pandemic may have taken away our freedom to move and communicate freely in an office or even across the street, but it has not taken away our ability to innovate and reimagine our existing systems, because keep in mind what Dave Chappelle says, modern problems require modern solutions. We've done our time being shocked by the coronavirus, and now that our sulking days are behind us, it is time for growth. We've got companies innovating like Spark Hire to help recruiters push forward now, and you have got Full-On Recruiter giving you the latest to stay on top of this. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay hopeful. You were listening to Full-On Recruiter.